Complete hockey sense. His awareness.
Incredible vision and immaculate touch.
That puck is just glued to his sticks.
This really wows you every day.
One of the top playmaking centermen.
One of the elite players in the National Hockey League.
One of the best players ever put on a Capitals uniform.
This is a young Nick Backstrom right here. Nice haircut too.
He's a good-looking young Swedish dude. He's got lots of charm. He's a heck of a hockey player.
Nicklas Backstrom wins it in overtime.
He's a fun guy to be around.
Backstrom and Ovechkin work together like hand in glove.
Backstrom for Ovechkin, bullseye.
When we was young, we was crazy, and we just loved to play hockey.
Backstrom, oh, that's beautiful.
Score! The all-time franchise assist leader.
He's fun to watch. He's a great passer. I think he's a fantastic player.
And heartbreak for the Washington Capitals.
He wanted to win more than anyone.
Nicklas Backstrom, underrated forever, but not underappreciated.
In Washington, they know who's best.
The Washington Capitals are Stanley Cup champions!
It's driving down Constitution. I want to have that feeling again.
Finally, we start playing hockey like we can party.
Very fortunate to play 1,000 games with the same team, and I'm happy to do it with Washington.
His legacy is pretty simple. He's going to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Nick is one of a kind. I don't know if we'll ever have another player like Nick Backstrom.
Backstrom! Nicklas Backstrom!
Next pick belongs to Washington.
Well, our experience in Vancouver, the NHL draft where Nick was drafted, there was lots of interesting backstory going on the draft floor. And I remember the decision to tell Alex Ovechkin, this is the guy you're going to be playing with for a long, long time. You go and draft him.
Alexander Ovechkin is walking up to the podium.
Wow, never seen this before.
Alex?
When George told me, you're gonna make a pick, I was like, okay, are you sure you want to, like, I'm scared I don't want to do it. Since I went to the stage, I have to say Nicklas Backstrom.
The Washington Capitals are happy to pick Nicklas Backstrom.
It was exciting. I was just shocked when he called my name, but when you see a player like that, you're like, damn right you want to play with him. And my agent told me, yeah, we're going to Vancouver. But when we landed, my luggage wasn't there. So we had to go to a shopping mall in the morning, get us a new pair of pants and a collared shirt. That was my outfit for today. People were looking at me like, oh, this guy didn't get the memo, I guess.
I'll tell you what, if I'm Alexander Ovechkin, I'm licking my lips with this guy playing center with me.
You know, we were really, really fortunate to be able to draft who we thought was probably one of the best playmakers, setup people we'd seen in a long, long time in Nick. The hockey sense we thought was elite, the skill level we thought was elite, but the character box checked off as elite also.
Even right now, like me and Becky, when we go to Vancouver, we talk about the draft. Like I always say, like, hey Nicky, you remember that moment? And we laugh, and then it was a pretty special moment.
Nick decided to stay home the season that he was drafted, so he didn't come to North America until the following season.
When he showed up, he looked so young. I mean, he looked 12 years old. I remember the first time I saw him with his little puffy cheeks and this little kind of blonde scruff on his chin. I was like, that's the first round draft pick who's going to be the #1 center in a few months.
That's Nicklas?
Yep, this is my first year, so...
oh, this is first year?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I remember when I first got here, and it was hard transition.
I don't know, just get me easy answer for me.
Sometimes it's hard with the translation, and it's tough when you're young too. I mean, if you have a bad game, you get down on yourself.
For me, it was great that Michael Nylander was here, and his family invited me to dinners and stuff. They took care of me like their son.
I remember the first NHL game against Atlanta. It was an amazing moment. He played left wing, I was nervous and very happy.
Backstrom, goal line. Nylander fidgets loose. Calls his own number and scores! Michael Nylander!
I always told myself that I'd rather be steady at all time and try to stay calm out there, because that's important too.
Kozlov again behind the net. Looking in front, it's in! Off the back of Emery! The Caps have broken through on the power play.
My very first game, I remember telling the guys that this is how the power play is going to work. Listen, Nick, I want you to sauce it over Alex's stick, right under Mike Green's stick. He'll put it in the top corner, and we'll go out and win the game. Nick was such a great passer, and I had the faith in him that he could do that.
And he had started that game as the fourth line winger. By the end of the game, I think he was in the top six and scoring the game-winning goal in overtime on his 20th birthday.
Backstrom, goal! Nicklas Backstrom wins it in overtime.
I want to say it was like 2 months into his career where it was like, whoa, this kid is legit.
What's your favorite? Is it a goal or an assist?
Probably assist. But I mean, if you score a goal, it's never bad. But I mean, I think I'm more like a passer, so. I think now when I'm getting older, it feels better with a goal. I don't know, maybe back then I was too scared of saying goals, putting too much pressure on yourself.
Bouncing puck in front, a chance, scores! Another promising rookie in the form of Nicklas Backstrom.
His backhand passing, his forehand passing was exquisite, and he did not get knocked off the puck. He would make his play, and he would do it so subtly. You wouldn't even realize he's making a great play.
Backstrom for Ovechkin, bullseye!
He had 8 assists in 2 games, and probably 6 of them were like world-class assists. Like, I mean, very few, like a handful of people in the world can execute this.
There's very few that have his sort of intellect. Special players have that ability to slow the game down, and with time and space, he can make a lot of plays.
Alex Ovechkin skating, and Ovechkin drives and scores!
And I will never, ever forget the way they finished that season. They won 11 of 12 games down the stretch. They roared their way home.
Salmon high slot, loads and scores!
And the Capitals will claim their 3rd ever Southeast Division title as they knock off the Florida Panthers 3-1.
To be a part of that, it's just incredible.
The stretch run and the timely goals and the big games and all those things, it was definitely amazing to see, and Nick was a huge part of that.
Number 19, Nicklas Backstrom.
From that moment on, people were behind them. The city was behind them. They had everyone in town talking about Alex Ovechkin, Nicklas Backstrom, Bruce Boudreau. Everyone was all in.
You know, when we all first got there, hockey wasn't big in the city. It was an exciting time. You know, it was kind of not only the formative years for us as, you know, these young athletes and professionals, but also for the Capitals. I feel like in a lot of ways, we were kind of all growing together.
And then they started this thing with the young guns. They started posting that, we started playing good, and we started winning.
Ovechkin, Backstrom, Semin, and Green. Mike Green, the slasher, scores! And the Capitals win it in overtime.
Young guns at that time, Alex Ovechkin, Nicklas Backstrom, Mike Green, and Alex Semin. Just sublimely talented players at their respective positions.
Backstrom along with Mike Green and Ovechkin, crossing feed, Ovechkin scores! Alex Ovechkin!
Nicklas was the guy who conducted everything, and he could make all of those players shine. And that's why they all loved him.
Nicklas Backstrom. Woo! I think we have a chemistry right away.
They need each other. I think they complement each other.
It was just incredible to see how everything changed when we made the playoffs.
It's over!
I remember looking over at Nick, and he was crying.
It took a little longer to understand what it takes.